Hey, today we're going to be learning about the lateral rotators of the hip. Let's get into it. So, here's the diagram. This is showing everything that we're going to be going over. We can see the piriformis at the top of this diagram. And then we see the gemellus superior, gemellus inferior, quadratus femoris, obturator internus, and sciatic nerve. This is kind of what we're going to be covering today. Something to note from this picture, we can see the sciatic nerve right here. And note how it passes below the piriformis. So the piriformis is right here. And this sciatic nerve is kind of passing below it. And we can see it emerge right here. So just note where that location is in relation to the muscles. All right, let's get started. We're going to start with the piriformis. So where does this originate? The anterior surface of the sacrum. We can see that right here, and that muscle origin is on that anterior side, if you look closely. Insertion, superior aspect of the greater trochanter, right there. All right, so what does this do? This laterally rotates the hip, hence the name of the group, and it abducts the hip when the hip is flexed. So two actions there. All right, and this is innervated by the sacral plexus, L5, S1, S2. All right, let's look at the quadratus femoris. And hence the name quadratus. This is more, let's say, quad-shaped. It's just like a square or rectangle. So that's one way to remember it. And the origin is the lateral border of the ischial tuberosity. And that will be right here. And this is your sitting bone. This is the bone that you sit on or used to sit. And it inserts on the trochanteric crest between the greater and lesser trochanters. So right in between. And the action, it laterally rotates the hip. This is also innervated by the sacral plexus. All right. Oh yeah, sitting bone, ischial tuberosity, like I said. All right, moving on to obturator internus. There's two obturator muscles. Let's look at internus first. So the origin, obturator membrane, and inferior surface of obturator foramen. So the obturator foramen, if you don't know what a foramen is, it's basically the opening, the hole right here of the obturator. And it inserts on that inferior surface of the hole, if you look right here. And it's also on a membrane. All right. Looking at insertion, it inserts on the medial surface of the greater trochanter. We can see that greater trochanter, that bony prominence right there at the top. And this will be the medial surface. Lateral surface would be over here, further away from the midline of the body. And this is also innervated by the sacral plexus. And then the externus originates at the rami of pubis and ischium and the obturator membrane. So let's look at this. This is the view we are seeing. This is the origin. So we can see that there's... Whoops. Obturator membrane, rami of pubis and ischium. We see that here and here. And let's look at the insertion. Trochanteric fossa of the femur. So that will be on that other side. It kind of wraps behind right there. Okay. And these both laterally rotate the hip. One action, same action. So obturator, think obturator, laterally rotate. Both sacral or actually, you know what? This one's an obturator nerve. That's important to note. Internus, sacral plexus, obturator. Externus is the obturator nerve, and they also have different nerve innervation numbers. So this one's L5, S1, S2, and this one's L3, L4. That is important to note. Let's highlight that right there. Obturator nerve. Okay. Let's look at the gemellus superior inferior. So, superior, what do you know? It's the superior muscle, looking at this diagram. And it seems like it the gemellus superior inserts at a superior position. So let's get into it. The gemellus superior originates at the ischial spine. You can see that ischial spine here. And then it inserts on the medial surface of the greater trochanter. Here's the greater trochanter, and it's on that medial surface right there. Okay, this is innervated by the sacral plexus, and it laterally rotates the hip. Let's look at the gemellus inferior. So this originates on the ischial tuberosity. So there's the spine. Here's the tuberosity right here. And then it inserts on the medial surface of the greater trochanter. So they have the same insertion point, okay? Same insertion, different origin. So gemellus superior is on the spine, and the inferior is on the tuberosity. And the inferior is also innervated by the sacral plexus. So far, they've all been sacral plexus, except obturator externus. This one is not sacral plexus. It's innervated by the obturator nerve, okay? All right. Here is another diagram or visualization of the origins and insertions, which can be helpful. All right, and that's all for today. Thanks.